Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called Let Me Finish. I work in a call center. Most of the time, when a customer calls in, I look at their phone number to access their account so I can take some notes from the call. When a phone number isn't associated with an account, I usually ask for the customer's address. My phone rings. Hello, how can I help you? Yeah, the equipment that you installed at my house isn't working. I searched for the phone number, but it isn't associated with an account. Sir, if I could get you at... Could I finish speaking, please? Cue malicious compliance. Certainly. I paid a lot of money for this equipment and it's not working. I want someone out there to fix it today. Silence. Hello? I was waiting until you are finished. If so, could I start by getting your address so I can access your account? You could hear the defeat in their voice as they told me the account details. And to make it even better, okay, what seems to be the problem? It never gets old. The next story is called No Matter What. I worked as a dispatcher for a small town police department out west. There was always a bit of a struggle with our patrol sergeant, who looked down his nose at dispatch, always trying to micromanage our department and bully our dispatch sergeant. One day he discovered that dispatchers were handling small routine matters, such as answering questions from the public and handling other minor issues that didn't require a police response. He was outraged. He stomped around the station for a bit, then issued a memo. It began with a condescending essay about how dispatchers were not qualified to answer questions or handle minor issues, as only fully trained police officers were capable of such weighty matters. He then issued a directive that an officer would be sent on any call received from the public, no matter what it was. Our dispatch sergeant just smiled and told us to follow the directive, that she was sure it wouldn't last long. As luck would have it, I was on duty that very night, and I guess I was living right as a call came in. Then another, and another. A rather bright meteor had gone harmlessly over the town at a fairly low altitude. Pretty spectacular really, but obvious as to what it was. My phone rang off the hook, most just wanting to ask if anyone thought it had fallen to earth near the town. Not really an issue for the town police. But, well, he did say no matter what it was. The next morning, the issue was compounded a bit. The responding officer also followed his directive and filed an official report, noting that the object had fled our jurisdiction before contact could be made. He recommended the matter be referred to the FBI for further investigation, as he had reason to believe the object had crossed state lines. Our captain-in-chief were laughing to tears, and our detective volunteered to assist the FBI investigation, theorizing it had gone to Vegas. A new memo was issued by the captain, stating that dispatchers were to have full discretion in the handling of calls and minor matters for the public. The third story is called 2 Packs Each. Many moons ago, I worked for McGolden Arches. I was a crew trainer and was being fast-tracked for manglement. I was one of 3 of the best employees in the store. I knew it, management knew it, and other employees knew it. I was pretty good at what I did. One day, it was decided we were going to run a 50% off promotion between 4 PM and 8 PM. The store was fully staffed. The area mangler was there, the store mangler was there, and all the salaried people they could fit in the store were there. It was a bit crowded, but the restaurant actually ran like it should for those 4 hours. Then there's me. My schedule didn't allow me to start until 4:30 PM, so I come in 30 minutes after this thing had started. I figure I'd be thrown into drive-thru or in the grill, because I was one of the fastest. Area mangler decided that, nope, no one is switching positions because everything is running okay. So they made me the drive-thru runner. My job was to hand out the food that someone else bagged and then hand out any condiments that were requested. Well, the area mangler happened to walk by when I handed the customer a handful of ketchup, and he asked, "Why did you give them so much? Do you know how much that cuts into our profits?" And I responded, "Well sir, I gave them a handful of ketchup because they asked for a handful of ketchup." Then he said, "From now on you will give them 2 packets of ketchup, and if they want more you are to come to me first," and started to walk away. I asked, "Would you stay close by please? I'm going to be talking to you a lot tonight now." He scoffed and walked away. The first car came through, handed 2 packets, they gave me a dirty look and drove away. The second car I handed 2 packets and they asked for more. Went to go find the area mangler and he had to come up and give them more packets. After the 12th or 13th car he finally blew up at me and said, just give them however much they asked for. And I said, thank you sir, and things started flowing much faster. When the night was over, area mangler demanded the store manager write me up and the store manager asked, why? He was following your rules. He was the best fast food manager ever. He left to own his own business shortly afterward. The next story is called Fax It. I ran a small office that had no accounts receivable department or need for one. I started getting faxes from a company offering to do accounts receivable for us, sometimes 3 times a week. It was using our paper, ink and tying up our fax machine. I called the number and politely asked to be removed from their list. The guy that answered said sure, and the faxes kept coming. I called again and the guy hung up on me. I waited a few days and called a different number and the guy yelled at me for wasting his time and said I should just deal with it. Okie dokie, I can do that. I looked up the company on the Better Business Bureau website and they had horrible reviews. Sure, they would do accounts receivable, but good luck getting the money they collected from them. And, surprise surprise, they were not responsive if you called to deal with an issue regarding getting your money from them. I printed out a couple of reviews on separate paper and a couple of pages that had our fax number. I request to be removed from their fax list and taped them together into a loop and fed it into the fax machine. For 2 nights as I left the office late, I entered their fax number, hit send and emptied out their paper tray and used up a lot of their ink. After the second night, the guy called me and said, "Uncle, I give up." He went on to say that because of the ink running low, he really couldn't read the BBB reviews and if I sent them, he would remove us from the list. I was happy to do it and the faxes stopped coming. I guess I dealt with it just fine. The last story is called Who Would Buy That? I worked in a menswear chain for several years. Every 6 weeks we'd get the new merchandising directive that told us what garments to put on the mannequins and where to display everything. One spring, the buyers were watching too much Project Runaway or something because they went a little nuts. We received a full shipment of tablecloth plaid shirts in a full array of Easter egg colors. The directive was to put these in the front window with the pink one on the mannequin. Mind you, our target demographic is older, upper middle class white males in a fairly conservative Midwestern suburb. Pinstripes are considered too loud. I decided that I used the navy gingham shirt instead, partially because the Pepto-Bismol pink hurt my eyes, and partly because I knew we wouldn't sell a single one anyway. We might as well display something our customers might buy. About a week later, the regional manager stopped by and threw a fit because we deviated from the merchandising directive. He actually held up the binder we kept them in and said, "This is your Bible." So the god-awful shirt goes on the mannequin. He busies himself with messing up all of our other organizational methods and generally making a nuisance of himself for a few hours. Meanwhile, people are walking past, stopping to gawk at the pink tablecloth the mannequin is wearing. The final straw was when a regular customer came into the store, saw the shirt and burst out laughing. "Are you serious? You expect someone to buy that hideous thing?" I was delighted that the regional manager heard it. He went into a spiel about how it's inspired by fashion seen on the runway in Milan and really very trendy. The man looked at him and said, "If I wanted to be trendy, I wouldn't be shopping here." I had to step into the back room to laugh. The next week when I got to work, the mannequin was dressed in the blue shirt again. And 2 months later we packed up each and every one of those awful shirts and sent them to the outlet store. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.